On my 21st birthday, my buddy Lloyd, Hector, they're like, dude, we're taking you out to your 21st. I ended up going to Graham Central Station when that was a thing here. And I think I was hammered before we got there. I definitely drank too much. It was my 21st. I was being super duper encouraged by everyone to drink.
Yeah, okay.
We got there. I drank more. A big fight breaks out that night. One of the NMSU basketball players ends up getting cut open. It was one of the craziest things ever. There was a huge fight. Someone cut him open with a bottle. And I saw him holding his intestines in his hands, dude. That's how bad it was. He fell over. They dropped a helicopter in, like, to pick him up. Wow. Crazy night. While all this is happening, I'm hammered. And so I'm like, what? And I had to pee so bad. And they wouldn't let us back in the club because this is before the helicopter stuff happened. This is like when he came outside, he's bleeding. People were fighting. The cops are trying to get people situated. They wouldn't let me back inside. And so, like, you guys need to leave. Everyone starts walking to their cars. And while I'm walking to the car, I'm like, dude, I just got to pee. So I'm going to pee in this parking lot. And so I end up walking over to a random car. And I even looked around. I looked around and I didn't see anyone.
Nobody.
And so I was like, all right, unzipped, peed, put it away, start walking back to get in my car. The moment that I go to get in it was in my friend's car. I was closing the door. A cop sticks his hand in the door and, like, holds it open. He's like, step out. And I'm like, what? It turns out I was peeing on the cop car. Like, he was in the car. Like, I looked around to see if there was anyone, but I forgot to look at the actual car because I was hammered, dude. And so that night, or he took me out of the car and he's like, hey, man, like, you can't, like, just be pulling your dick out in front of people. And I was like, dude, honestly, like, I didn't lie. I was like, dude, I'm wasted. Like, that's why he asked me, like, why are you doing that? I think when cops do that, they want you to, like, bitch up or something. And I was like, officer, I'm wasted. Like, I don't have a good excuse for this. I needed to go. They wouldn't let me back in the club. So I needed to go. So I went. And I get I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? But I was like, and he was like, he ends up, like, cuffing me. My friends walk by and they're drunk. And one of my friends, Hector, was like, what are you doing? And he's like, dude, just stay out of it. I was even telling them, I'm like, dude, it's all good, dude. I'm going to go to jail. It's not a big deal. And I was, like, really drunk. And then so that Hector starts going off on the cop. He ends up telling the cop, or I'm sorry, I won't even tell you what he said yet. And so he starts yelling and they go, put him in the car to the guy, to the other officer, to me.
What, you? Okay.
Yes. And so I get in the car and they go back to handle Hector. And then they come back and like, hey, man, I'm going to pull your feet out. I'm going to pull you out. And he pulls me out. And he goes, hey, man, here's the deal. Your friend here, I guess he told that dude's, like, boss, like, whatever, like, what's the main cop called? Like, the supervisor. He told the supervising cop, like, when he came to calm him down because he's acting crazy, he was like, your buddy he essentially told my boss he was gonna cut his dick off, like, or something, like I'm gonna cut. He's just talking shit, like, I'll fucking cut your balls off, you pig, like, just talking shit. Yes. And then I go, okay. He goes, one of you guys going to jail tonight? Who is it? And I go, dude, take me, because he was about to deploy, man. And so I was like, dude, just take me to jail. Deal, and he goes, all right, fair enough. Get back. He puts me in the car, and I go, I'm going to jail, dude. He goes off, and he comes back, and he pulls me out, and he starts uncuffing me. He goes, I'm gonna let you go, man. We're gonna take your buddy in because he just won't stop. He's telling, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, just take me. He's like, dude, at this point, it's not a choice anymore. We thought he would just be cool. We tell him, hey, your buddy's gonna go for you, but he just started talking shit. So they let me go, and they arrest him. Take him to the station, man. He ends up, like, I don't think he got charged. They end up letting him go. They end up, like, finding out that he was about to deploy. They did charge me, though, even though they didn't take me to jail. They charged me with indecent exposure, and so I was like, or they were charging me with it, and I was like, man, like I don't know what that means. Like, am I going to be one of those dots? And I was like, I was really scared because I'm like, dude, I was 21, I was drinking, like, it's a stupid mistake. And then so I go to court for it, and I'm going to fight it because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, dude, I'm going to be a sex offender.
Yeah, that's.
And the worst part, man, is like, so when we get to court. You ever been to court for anything ever?
Yeah, I have.
So there's a bunch of people there you don't know. They're all there for different reasons. And they'll be like, Sabrina, whatever, come up here. So you're in here today for evading a police officer and for going 10 over the speed limit. How do you plead? And they'd say your charges, right? Coming up next, Danny, you're in here because you keep fighting with your mom and you're a gang affiliate. They go through all that, right? And then it's me, and they go, William Palmer. And I go up there, and they go, you're here for, well, you know what you did. And then everyone, which I hate that he did, man, because, like, everyone in the courtroom, like, was looking at me like, damn, like, what did he do that they won't even talk about it, man? They probably thought I was like a murderer or something. And I was like, what? Like, he ended up asking me about it, and I ended up just telling him, like honestly, man, I was 21. It took forever to get a court hearing. It was like 7 months later. I was like, man, like I don't like really drink anymore, and I had. And I'm like I don't like. It was just a stupid mistake. I told him about the event, and he's like, dude, I remember that happening. He's like, dude, but he's like, I remember like that because it was an NMSU basketball player. Yeah. So he's like, I remember that happening, and then I told him, Your Honor, like this will never happen again, and he ended up dropping it, man. Yeah. And but then here's the weird thing is he ended up telling me like that it's not a felony for indecent exposure. You're allowed in New Mexico, which is fucking crazy. Well, I don't know if this applies to everything, but it's a misdemeanor. You're allowed 2 misdemeanors. So if I pull my weenie out and I get indecent exposure, it's a misdemeanor. If I do it again, it's also a misdemeanor. If I do it a 3rd time, it becomes a felony.
I thought it was if you were close to like a
middle school, elementary
school,
that matters
that
too.
type of thing.
That matters too.
Yeah.
And so, but it no matter what it is, like if it's a sexual involving anything, whether it's like if a woman walks out of a bar with her like shirt down. You know what I mean? She can get charged with something. It's a misdemeanor.
Yeah. Okay,
but if she were to continuously do it on the 3rd one, it would become a felony.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I would have been good either way. But like, dude, I was so happy, and I'm like, it made me realize, like, damn, like I gotta make sure I don't make stupid decisions, man.